Wisdom shines in talks with Sri Ramana Maharshi. My comments bring this profound wisdom into your experience. Use YouTube's closed captions to read along. And the visitor then asks about practice, saying, "It's so difficult to understand this." If something concrete is said, it can readily be grasped. Japa, dhyana, chanting, and meditation are more concrete. Understanding the nature of the true self and reality can indeed be difficult. It goes against our everyday experience and understanding of the world. However, it's important to remember that the ultimate reality is not something that can be grasped or understood through the mind. It is known by the knower of the mind, the conscious awareness from which the mind seems to borrow its awareness. The mind cannot know this knower like the EYE cannot see itself. Chanting, meditation, and other spiritual practices are more concrete and tangible, since these are things you can think about and do. These can help to quiet the mind and bring one closer to the realization of the true self. However, they should not be seen as a means to the end, but rather as tools to help us let go of our attachment to the mind and the individual self, the ego I. Their focus is external and objective, and so are not the real process of inquiry, which looks into the non-objective self. The most they can achieve is to quiet and calm the mind, so then maybe it can be ready to dive deep into itself. Ultimately, the nature of the true self and reality can only be achieved through direct experience and not through mental concepts or intellectual understanding. It is through self-inquiry, asking such as, "Who am I?" and "To whom do the thoughts appear?" that we can begin to let go of our attachments to the mind and the individual self and come to a direct attention of the self. Here begins self-abidance. Ramana then tells the questioner a practice that can bring deep understanding into the nature of the true self. Ramana says, "Who am I?" is the best japa, the best chant. What could be more concrete than the self? It is within each one's experience every moment. Why should he try to catch anything outside, leaving out the self? Let each one try to find out the known self instead of searching for the unknown something beyond. Ramana tells us that the self is the most concrete and tangible reality, and that it is always present in our experience. It's there right now. Do you know it? Can you not know it? We spend our lives searching for something outside of ourselves, whether it is material possessions, external validation, or spiritual enlightenment. without realizing the ultimate reality and the source of true happiness is within us all along. It's always been within us. By focusing on the true self and coming to know the self, we come to understand that the self does not need to be found or achieved, but rather it is something that is always present within our experience. Rather than searching for something outside of ourselves, we should turn our attention inward and try to know the self, the Atman, which is the unchanging reality that lies beneath the changing nature of the mind and the individual self. This is the Advaita Vedanta teaching of non-duality, that the ultimate reality is one, self-existent and unchanging, and the individual self and external world are mere appearances. Instead of seeking something external and unknown, one should realize the self, which is already known and at all times present. These videos help bring Ramana Maharshi's teachings into your direct experience. Subscribe now to help you deepen your understanding and practice to know the self. Just click the subscribe button.